Thanks to those of you watching on the replay, because nobody's in the chat right now, because this is impromptu. I wanted to do this for my friend, and I don't have too much time today, but I wanted to make sure I got this done. This is a contest entry video. It's for BerkFamily54Comics. I put the link to his channel down below, and I will probably repeat that 5 to 10 times during this stream, but it'll be a short stream. I'm just going to let some people jump into the chat here. Anybody who's got that notification bell clicked, that's going to let them know when I'm going live if it's not scheduled. And sometimes you get something like this, which is going to be a chance for me to talk about Daredevil, which I always enjoy doing. I even got John here to hold up the fort for me while I go through this. I got some good Daredevil books here in the background, including this insane new gift that I unboxed on one of Perry's late night shows a couple weeks back. But some cool things to talk about for Daredevil for those of you that are a fan of Daredevil. Berk Family, let's talk about him first. He's got a contest that ends tomorrow night. I want to say Friday at midnight. So if you want to contribute, there are 2 ways to do it. You can find his contest video and leave a comment, and you get an entry. Or if you have the time, if you're willing to make the time like I just did now, and shoot a video or edit a video and then post it, you can get 3 entries into his contest. It's all there on his channel. You go to BerkFamily54Comics. I have the link in this description down below. You can go to Berk's channel, read about his contest and all the rules. I'm going to go through the 3 things you have to do in either your comment or in the video that you shoot or make live. So the 3 things you have to do are you have to tell me about your favorite character, tell him about your favorite character, number 1. Number 2, you have to, did I make Dollar Bin a moderator? Hey, awesome. Number 1, you have to tell him about your favorite character. Number 2, you have to tell him about why you picked that character. And number 3, you have to talk about your goals for 2020. So Steven Spock is in the chat. Thank you for coming by. Unruly Simeon, thank you for coming by. He's been dropping some cool stuff on his Instagram lately. You should check it out. Tom's Comic Books and Reviews and Dollar Bin Fodder. I can't tell what's going on. Where's your Krav Maga? I don't have one. Sorry, I'm not yoked enough to handle that kind of a thing. Captain Comics, hello. Backseat Driver, good to see you in here. How's it going? I appreciate everybody coming by, and so apparently there's Dollar Bin Fodder. Thank you so much. I'm here doing this for BerkFamily54Comics. The link down below. I'm going to talk about Daredevil. He is currently, I think, my favorite character in comics. I think that kind of thing evolves as your tastes evolve. When I was younger, it might have been Wolverine or someone else from the X-Men, maybe even a Batman, or as I've gotten older, I've appreciated Green Lantern. But I think currently, right now, I am enjoying Daredevil for many reasons. And that's the second thing I have to answer for his contest. Not only who, but why. Daredevil because, number 1, he's one of the few guys right now with a really great ongoing series. I've got several covers from the current Chip Zdarsky run. And there it is, Dollar Bin, mentioning it out. Yeah, Chip Zdarsky is doing an epic run. And I think that's part of what fans the flame a little bit for a good character. But I will also say I've enjoyed Daredevil for a very long time because my favorite heroes are the ones with a lot of obstacles in their way, a lot of challenges. And we can get into the whole DC versus Marvel, the heroes that are flawed or whatever. I think in general, Marvel characters are traditionally built on their flaws, whereas DC characters are built on their ideals, what they believe in. Doesn't mean that the characters don't have ideals at Marvel or they don't have flaws at DC. I think in general, the idea is we know Superman and we know Batman and we know Green Lantern and Wonder Woman from their ideals, what their goals are, versus the Marvel characters we know because of their mistakes and the things that are haunting them from the errors that they've made in their lives. It's not always true, but I feel like there's a little bit of truth to that. Neither one bad or good. It's just kind of the way I've always viewed the 2 publishers. For me right now, Daredevil has some huge obstacles in his life. You could go into, obviously, his physical challenges because being blind. You could talk about his family challenges, the death of his father at a certain age, the abandonment from his mother. There was a lot of family kind of dynamic stuff that he was dealing with growing up. And then what I've always liked is, I think Daredevil is the barometer of morals in the Marvel universe. Whether you believe morals come from the law, which is obviously where he would feel like he has a, Matt Murdock coming from the legal side, or whether you believe morals come from above, from some sort of God-like power. Obviously, he has both of those, and they weigh heavily on him as a character. I feel like his moral compass is very interesting, and it makes me care more about him as a character, knowing that he's trying to balance and do the right thing. So that I find very interesting. Thank you, Unruly. This was an insane gift. Comics for Blame gave this to me, that 9.6 Elektra. It was one of the big Daredevil keys I was missing. It was on my look for it list in 2020, which kind of brings me to the third topic here for Berk's contest. I want to say hello to a few people who've joined in, like JP Budget Collecting, and my buddy Tank. He lives right nearby me, about within an hour's drive of each other, and he's got some cute little tanklings at home now. And so congrats to you, brother. It's nice to see you in the chat. Let's see. Anybody else that I missed? Dollar Bin, keeping it down. Appreciate it, brother. The law comes from morals. Yeah, I agree. And I think that that's always been a challenge for the character of Matt Murdock to deal with. Is he does something very violent based on a personal moral compass, but he has to justify that to himself within a legal and a religious framework. And I think that makes him a very interesting character. Somebody's got a 2020 wish list they're going to send me. Oh, a book on my 2020 wish list. I better watch out. Dollar Bin, I'm watching out. For me, last year I did a really good job at those mid-range books, and I struggled getting some of those bigger books. So besides who is my favorite character and why, the third part you have to do if you want to do a video for Berk is you have to explain your goals for 2020. And for me, I'm going to try to get a couple of really big books. I'm going to try to follow JP Budget Collecting's path, where he really thought and worked hard on getting some of those books he really wants. What books are they? Well, obviously they're related to Daredevil. I would say the biggest one being Daredevil #1, I think is one of those books that I want to try to make a goal for me in 2020. Berk is here in the chat. You can click on his name, go to his channel, or use the link in the description for the video if you want. He was talking to me, John. Oh, sorry, not a book from my 2020 wish list. Dollar Bin. Dollar Bin's got books for everybody. Do I have the first Bullseye? I do. It's I can pull it out another time. It's it's a low grade copy. It's torn, like the corner is missing on the front. So I'm gonna aim to get a Daredevil 1, and the other book that I want to get is on the back here. Daredevil 7 is the first appearance of his red suit. With the Namor cover right there. I think those are my two big books that I'm going to try to fit into my 2020 list. I think it's possible. It's just going to take some work. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some planning and saving. So my goal is somewhere in this year. I think it's a reasonable book. I don't want it in a 9.0 or anything insane like that, but I would love a good mid-grade 5 or a 6 if I could find one. Magic Lasso says Rod. Yeah, Rod just got a #1 and a #2 from Daredevil. So eventually that's my goal. I will get there. I'm hoping it's this year. It's just going to take a little bit of work, a little bit of focus. I love the issues. I've obviously got this book. I've read them a few times. And I'll repeat some of the things I've gone through here in this stream. Berk is doing a contest. If you go to his channel, you can read more about it. There are 3 things you need to do. Who is your favorite character? Why? And what are your goals for this year, 2020? Obviously, Daredevil was the character I picked, and I went through some of his hurdles that I think make him interesting. I would also say he has an underrated rogues gallery. I really do think Kingpin and the Owl are 2 great sort of Machiavellian villains who have a great ability to pull these sort of assassin minor characters out of the woodworks to send against him, whether it's Gladiator, whether it's Bullseye, Elektra, you name it. I think there's some really cool villains in Daredevil's universe that are underappreciated. So that's another thing that I think is really, really great. I may just go live after John. There you go. Hey, we're going to do back-to-back Berk Nasty competitions. This says, on the CGC label for the Daredevil in the back is Elektra's name misspelled like it is on the cover. I never even thought about that. It is not. Great comment. If you don't know, this is the first appearance of Elektra, and her name is spelled wrong on the cover itself, always, on all the books. But on the label, it doesn't have the K. Her name shouldn't have a K, but the cover of the book for some reason did, and that's a classic error. So I'm saving for these books. Daredevil 1 and 7 are not cheap. It's not something that I just have the budget for. Usually my price range is like a $40 book I can manage. Anything above that's going to take a little more time. I'm tapping out. It's my wife's work event. Thank you so much, Berk. And I'm sorry I didn't get to this till now. Recap everything, says D-Runk. Okay, so welcome in, everybody. And no, not going to happen. So for me, to get a Daredevil 7 or a Daredevil 1, it's going to take more work. It's going to take more saving. It's going to take more planning. And my goal has been to spend a big chunk of this year grading, slabbing, and selling slabs. So I've got a pretty big set now. I'm prepping my next round of books to get pressed, cleaned, and slabbed. And my goal is to use the money from that to get over to a Daredevil 1. Dollar Bin, I do have a Daredevil 4. It was my first yellow suit comic that I bought. And I found a nice low grade, I would say a 4, 3.5 maybe in that range. But it has somebody scribbled a little Sharpie on the cover, not a huge like mess of it, but a little bit. So I think that took the grade probably down and made it why I was able to afford it. It's a great book. Love Me That Purple Man, and that first appearance is underrated. Tell me about it, John, but mine's just 10 to 15 to save, right? So yeah, $10 to $15 is a great I love $40 books. If I see a decent book and it's in that $40 range, if I think it's going to go somewhere, I'll definitely spend $40 for a book. Flat out. That's definitely true. Slabs are overrated for flipping, but hey, a lot of buyers love slabs. I do it because it's helpful for people to know exactly the quality of the book, and it's easier to make a sale and not have somebody upset. You know, with a book, and you don't want to send it off and have somebody get it and say, well, it has this binding and I didn't see that in the picture. I want my money back. I don't want to deal with any of that. I prefer people to say, hey, it's a 9.6. I know it's a 9.6. This is what a 9.6 goes for, and be done with it. So that was my goal, is to slab the books I had in my collection that I thought other people would want, and then sell them to the right person for the right price. And that was my goal. I do not want a low grade rod. I'm going for a mid grade. A 6 would be great. A 7 at the right price, if I could afford it, would be awesome. So I'm going for that range. That's a 6. A 6 is like my center of my bullseye. If I get a little close, I'm fine with that. It would be the right book at the right price. I think that's what I'm really trying to plan out. And same with issue 7. I don't know that I need it like super high grade, but I would like a really nice copy of that. I don't want a 1 or a 4 even. I would like something a little nicer so that it's not just too beat up. But it'll take time to get there, and that's my yearly goal. So that's my 2020 goal. That's my character. I mentioned a bunch of reasons why. I forgot to mention the Punisher and some of the other good guys that Matt Murdock hangs around with. That's probably another reason why I like him. I think Punisher's cool. I think Spidey's cool. I like Danny Rand with Daredevil. I love Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I like that whole crew, and when they're together, I really enjoy it. Dollar Bin says, make sure to check your ROI for certain grades of slabs. And remember, John's Comics with Kids, CBCS is a 12% dip right now from fair market value for keys. PGS is currently 22%. Ouch. Well, thankfully, I'm slabbing through CGC, so I won't have any of that. I've only been doing CGC because I've only been doing it for about 5 months now. It's only been about 5 months. I signed up in September, I think. All right. So I am going to bounce out of here and let JP do his contest entry for Berk. Thank you guys for coming by. Please do me the favor of cruising over and checking out Berk's channel. He is super close to hitting, I think, 600 subscribers. So if you sub him up, let's get him over 600. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. The prize is not as important as an awesome guy in this community getting the chance to continue to grow his channel and make some cool content. So if you haven't checked it out, if you haven't been over there, his name was in the chat earlier. It's in the description below, and I would appreciate it if you just took a little bit of that time to support another awesome community member. Thank you all for coming by. Stay tuned for JP. He's making his thumbnail, he says, so he'll be up here soon. Congrats to you, Berk, on your hitting almost 600 now, and good luck, everybody, on this contest. Charlie wants to say goodbye. Charlie wants to say goodbye.
I've been waiting. Bye.